Hello everyone. So today was a very exciting day. So we have a very special guest today, Mr. Deep Sagar. He's an assistant professor at NIF Panchkula with over a decade experience in digital fashion. So welcome, sir. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing good. So thanks to School of Design, lovely Professor University for inviting me. And I must say that I had an amazing experience with the students as well as faculty because they got to learn a lot of new things in the area of metaverse and AI.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, I was not a part of that workshop, but what I heard, but this was amazing. After a really long time, the students were very excited. Obviously, digitalization is a very interesting topic, a topic of the hour. And also, Deep sir is the author of The Fashion Metaverse, Digital Renaissance. So this is the book that he happened to gift us today at the School of Fashion. Thank you so much for this lovely gift.
Most
As moving in the era of digitalization, it is important that the students are well equipped with all the tools, tips and tricks
Absolutely.
available at their disposal to learn digitalization and incorporate in their studies and academic. So thank you so much for the lovely exposure that we had at the school. So I have a few questions that today for you, probably to understand what is metaverse, how AI works. So we have drafted a list of questions. So my first question to you: how would you define the metaverse in the context of fashion?
So before I describe about fashion in the metaverse, let's try to understand what is the meaning of the metaverse. So the metaverse is going to be the next reality, and it is going to be the immersive experiences. And what I can see from my research and study and from different sources that this is going to be massive in coming years. The metaverse is going to impact all the industries, and obviously fashion plays an important role because the first thing when you enter into the metaverse is to create your fashionable avatars. So when we talk about fashion in the metaverse, it can be related to the behavioral consumer behavior, or related to retailing, or fashion design, or the experiences what you get inside an atmosphere. So the fashion metaverse plays an important role in this whole ecosystem, and what I can say is it is coming very soon and massively. And this is the book all about. I would recommend the audience to please go through the book, read it, and try to understand that what I try to convey.
Absolutely, I'm sure it will be amazing. So for our audience, so this is your PhD thesis. That's what I got to know.
Yeah, it's a part of PhD thesis because PhD is more about research. However, this book is talks about like how the fashion is going to change in the metaverse. But yes, I can say that PhD and the book was like it was in between. There was a balance.
Okay, that's what I got to know, that he's been conducting a workshop on AI and how it affects the fashion industry for over a decade in India and abroad. So it's lovely to see such advanced level of education coming into academics of fashion. So I'm sure it will be great for all of us. So basically, what you're trying to say that AI and digital fashion and metaverse is going to affect all of us sooner
Absolutely.
or later, right?
Absolutely.
So perfect.
So we have already seen that how AI is taking over, and now AI is the buzzword, and it is impacting the every industry. So the metaverse is not all alone. There is a marriage of metaverse with AI, with spatial computing, with next internet. So there are so many things which are associated, and we can also include or integrate blockchain technology. So basically, when we talk about, and in nutshell, we call it Web 3.0. This is the next version of internet, which is more decentralized in nature, more omnipresent in nature, and that is what we are talking about. Because slowly, as you also said, that we are moving towards digitalization and decentralization, and that is the crux of the metaverse.
So how long do you think that's going to affect my life and our students' life?
It is
at India, especially when everything reaches a little late to us.
Yes, I would say that in next 5 to 10 years, it is going to take a pace, and the good part of India is it adopts very fast. However, the initial adoption is late, but once it comes, the adoption will be really, really high, because we know all the social media we know today, their major consumer base is India. and because of that they are successful companies. So I'm sure that the metaverse is also going to impact a lot on the Indian consumers, and we all will be wearing the headset, maybe in the different format what is there today.
Probably we are also a young country.
We are
Yeah,
one of the youngest countries of the
yeah,
world, and
absolutely
then um, the crowd, we are more tech savvy, more
true.
people want to learn about technology, and we are the leaders kind of, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So obviously from the sourcing side, from the creator side, user side, we are at the good position, and I think that once it is accepted here, then it will be massive.
Probably we are the consumer, we are the creator, we are almost
Absolutely.
a perfect market for everything. Probably,
Absolutely, absolutely. The global brands are looking towards
yeah,
Indian market.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So my next question would be, what element, AR, VR, avatar, or digital wearables matter most for fashion students?
So when we talk about these terms, they are not isolated or separated, but in fact, these all work in unison. So when we talk about augmented reality, it is basically to enhance the one particular environment. The best example I can give is like Snapchat. When you use a filter, you can enhance your image or enhance your selfie by putting some hair or new type of styling. Some brands are also doing to enhance the experiences of the consumers. However, when we talk about the virtual reality, it is more about wearing the headset and see the 3D atmosphere. And digital wearables are those garments like what we can see over in this room, that there are so many physical products, physical garments, but those could be into the virtual reality, and the consumers can wear these on their avatars. And talking about avatar, so avatar is basically the digital representation of a human. Maybe in real life I am very formal, but in the virtual world I can be very experimental, I can use any product or anything. So these are all the culmination of things, right? And that is ultimately going to push the market or push the whole industry in a particular direction, and that will ultimately give success to the metaverse.
So since we have a very young crowd of students here, so which generation do you think probably this is going to hit the hardest, and they are going to be accepting it the most strongest?
So today I address Gen Zs. So they are, yes, they are experimental. They want to learn, and in fact, in the session, I'm really overwhelmed by their enthusiasm. Like they really wanted to learn, and when I told that there are virtual lands are being sold, and they were really excited and try to find out what to do. But I would say that the real target audience of the metaverse is not Gen Z, but the Alpha generation.
Okay.
So Alpha generation are those kids who are born after 2010, and now they are around, the maximum age is like 14 or 15, because those children, they are very much into the gaming. They are onto the Roblox, Minecraft, YouTube, and they experiment a lot with the digital world because they are born in that era where internet and internet, mobile phone, and these type of things are very common. It was not in our times. So those young children who are from Alpha generation, when they grow in 5 to 6 years and they will become young or teenagers, so by that time this metaverse will also be there, and those will be the consumers. So the real consumers, I would say, Alpha generation, and probably when the metaverse reaches up to its maturity, so beta generation. So beta generation the beta generation people are born in 2025 onwards. So maybe 10 years or 15 years
Only
down the line.
God knows what's there stored for us, because there's a lot of struggle the industry is facing with Gen Zs.
Yes.
So we can't even imagine how Alpha and Beta are going to be, and how hard they're going to hit us.
I would say that the previous generation always thinks that the next generation is the best, but
true.
It is not like that, because every generation has its own plus and minus, and its own dopamine to satisfy. Do you remember our times when we used to read comics?
Absolutely.
Yeah, or we used to use the cassette and Walkman or maybe VCR players or something like that. But these children, they have the access of mobile phones, and obviously because of the nuclear family also, their parents are working, so they are more into the digital world, and they are creators as well. So I think they are going to be the audience, and they are also going to be the creators.
I think adaptability is something what I would call that makes human a human. So
Absolutely.
We look forward to that drastic of a change. So what happens to traditional skills like draping and pattern making in digital world? How does they operate? Because at School of Fashion or any fashion school, for any design school, we thrive on the skills that we give to them, with the first hand, where they touch and feel the fabrics, and they drape it, they feel it,
Yes.
they understand the quality of it, the properties of it. So what happens at augmented reality? What happens there?
Okay, so it's not like that when this world, then virtual world or augmented reality world or the metaverse in itself, when it comes, the real world stops functioning. It is not going to happen because the reality of real world will be also there. It will be always there, because when you drape something from your hand, so the feel of that thing, and see, that is always there. But there is one more channel which is going to be coming in the form of the metaverse. But yes, when we talk about feeling, so there are companies which are working upon haptics, sensory motions, and even olfactory, that is the smell. So you can smell a product, you can drape the product in the virtual world, because through the virtual reality glasses, which again would evolve with time, so you can drape the products, you can stretch it, you can find out that it's weft and warp, and you can do all the calculations like EPI, PPIs.
So would it be wrong if I say that the generations are going to be much more distracted? So because they have a lot of realities to cope up. One is the actual reality, then there's an augmented reality. Probably who knows what comes later.
Absolutely. So see, we humans are very evolving in nature. We always accept the things which come with the change. So yes, there are people who would be sticking to the real world, the very traditional mode. But again, when new devices come, we accept that thing, and whatever the functions of that thing, we will also accept that. So but only the question what you are also raising in that would there be disbalance between the real and the virtual world? That can be one of the challenges.
So probably we have to look and
we have to look
forward to the times, I guess.
Yes.
So what are the skills a school fashion student learn to thrive in metaverse? What are the skills that are required?
So see, there are so many things which are associated in terms of knowledge, in terms of gaining some skills. But since the School of Design is very serious, so one thing what I would recommend students to learn about creating digital products, like huge softwares, maybe some softwares where you can create 2D and 3D products.
Flow 3D probably.
Flow 3D and 3ds Max, or maybe even Adobe InDesign and everything. You can create 2D and 3D products. That is one thing. If you want to create the digital products which can be converted into the non-fungible tokens, NFTs. Otherwise, if you want to build the metaverse in any of the platforms or for any other client, maybe you should be using one of the tools or one of the software. One is Unity and the second one is Unreal Engine. So suppose if you learn this, so you would be able to create the environment. So that could be a different thing. But again, there are endless possibilities, and what I would at least ask students of design, please learn how these fashion products are made in the software, and then try to sell it, or try to at least put it on OpenSea.io, where you can convert it into non-fungible tokens and try to sell it. Because if any metaverse company can buy your product, and you can have a source of revenue from that also.
On a very lighter note, I heard few years back that a lot of people are minting money. Apparently. So how rich have you become?
Oh, how I wish I could have been, because even
did you try your luck?
I would not say luck, but yes, little bit of awareness at the right time is important. And yes, since I started my PhD for the last 4 years, so I've been exploring this world. And yes, I have invested a bit. I bought some virtual lands.
There's a virtual land available?
Virtual lands also, because when
where did you buy it? Like on what universe?
Yeah, so I bought a land in the Sandbox, and few lands in the Next Earth. So these are again on developmental mode. So when I talk about the Sandbox, so Gucci, Warner Brothers, Paris Hilton, these people or companies have bought land, and then they are developing their ecosystem over there.
That's a very, very exciting.
But yes, this is one of the platforms where you can obviously invest, and you can put some money over there for maybe it can increase in some period of
Is
time.
it in reality or still virtual world?
It is going to be reality very
Okay,
soon,
perfect.
because when we talk about those companies,
Uh-huh.
they would not put in their hands without research, right?
I'm
When we
sure,
talk
I'm
about
sure.
Adidas and Gucci and Lululemon, so they are buying the land, virtual land in the sandbox, and
Hmm.
they are building their ecosystem. So in the book I have mentioned some case studies, and one of the cases, like one of my known person or my friends, acquaintance I would say,
Hmm.
so she's a lawyer, and she created her office in the metaverse, and she's a Canada based lawyer, and now her clients meet in the metaverse and she gives the consultation over there.
I think we should conduct one of the workshop in Metaverse someday, probably.
Sure, sure.
So, in next 2 years, what will fashion in Metaverse look like? Where do you see the future of fashion in coming?
Coming 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, 2 years.
Okay, so the fashion world is moving very fast along with the metaverse, and since both the metaverse is still in the developmental phase,
Hmm.
so I'd not say that in 2 years, by 2027, there would be much change, because it will be still in development. But yes, next 5 to 7 years it will be game changer, and because it is also associated with the hardware, because
Uh-huh.
there should be the massive adoption of the VR headset,
Hmm.
so which is now little expensive and little weighted also.
Oh, yeah, I did
So
try a game
yeah.
on one of the devices
Hmm.
and I struggled really bad.
Yes.
So probably we'll look such some drastic changes in coming
So when
5 to 7 years,
when
right?
these products become more sleeker,
Uh-huh.
more easy to handle, and massive adoption, then obviously everybody would be there using this product headset, and it will be easy for us to use the metaverse.
So, what kind of assignments do you see students doing when they have certain workshops like that? What kind of work do you assign to students so they engage, they are more
Yeah.
involved in such activities, which
So
is
yeah.
not a reality,
Yeah. So not the
not a reality, which is just uh,
just
yeah,
yeah.
something to
So one thing
good
is,
thought to ponder upon.
one thing is for sure designing the clothes,
Hmm.
3D designing the clothes, and then after you.
So, how is it different from Cloth 3D and other softwares?
So see, you create the design,
Uh-huh.
right, and when you export it and then put it somewhere in maybe OpenSea, or even there are some platforms like DressX and Fabricant, you can sell your design to those people, and when those products come in the metaverse, it is a revenue
It
stream.
basically provides you a more
More
marketplace to,
marketplace,
yeah,
yes, more
okay.
marketplace.
It's not just with you, it's there somewhere
It's
in
there
the
somewhere.
universe,
Yes,
and there are people who are interested in it, probably, right?
who are interested.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. It's
absolutely.
such an interesting and fascinating thing. So my last question: how can student start experiment with metaverse uh, tools right now? Where do they start?
So at first, students have to understand that what exactly they want to do in the metaverse.
Uh-huh.
So whether they want to be from the design side or experiential side, or
Hmm.
what is their purpose. So considering the students of design, so they must be designing the clothing or any other products. It's
Hmm.
not only the clothing; it is also any accessories or any other product, even table, chair, lighting, anything can be the
Okay.
part of it. So they can be the product design with the virtual world. So they can create those things. Then apart from that, there is a massive market of non-fungible tokens,
Hmm.
which they can they bring their designs and connect it through a blockchain, so
Okay.
that becomes non-fungible tokens. That is one thing. Then they can go for the metaverse development, or they can get associated with the companies like
So
DressX.
basically, if I say that they're not just designing, they're also marketing, they're also
Marketing,
finding a place to sell it. So
absolutely.
it's a
Holistic, and
holistic
the most
approach.
important factor over here is that there is no middleman, because we are
Ah,
talking about decentralized system. So
perfect.
it's just between the creator and the user,
Hmm.
no one. And when it is connected through the blockchain, then no
Is,
intermediary, and everything is.
if I ask you from many a millennial point of view,
Yeah.
is it safe? In terms of, is there any monetary risk involved,
it,
financial risk involved?
it
Acha.
is involved, but creation is not
Is at stake.
creation is not at the stake.
Ah,
But yeah, if you're trading anything, if you're buying a land, yes, then there are financial risk. So I, with a disclaimer, I say that if you are investing that much of money, just make sure that you invest that much which you can afford to lose.
yeah.
But at the same time, just keep on checking what is happening in and around, be updated, and you know use some study, conduct some research, and then after go for that. But
Perfect.
yeah,
So it was, I think I can go on and on.
yeah,
So since we have a limited time here, but
yeah.
it was absolutely an honor to have you.
Thank
It
you
was
very
an
much.
interesting topic. I deviated a little bit from the question that I was given, but it was interesting to know because I was clueless, and it gives me a little food for thought. Probably I
Uh,
might like to read your book, and if
Thank
I have
you.
any question, I'll love to interact with you, and we look forward to have you again for another
Thank
workshop, another milestone achieved at AIVI and Metaverse. So thank you so much. It was lovely
thank you.
having you, and we look forward to be associated
Thank
with
you.
you.
Pleasure is all mine. So it has been a great experience with you.
Thank you so much.